got the NFL free agency day 3 for you guys. Well, just like day 2, we have 6 of them for you guys. I'll start off with the first 3, and Mario will give you the last 3. So, Mario, I'm ready for this. I don't know about you, but I'm ready. So, anyway, let's get to it. First one we got Cardinals signing former Bengals wide receiver AJ Green. They agreed to a 1-year, $8 million deal, and this was reported by Ian Rappaport and written by Nick Shook. Um, in his time in Cincinnati, he caught 47 out of his 104 targets for 523 yards and 2 touchdowns. Oh, my bad. No, my bad. That was 2020. My bad. Um, he had 11.1 yards per catch and 2.9 receptions per game. So had a bit of an off year last year, but um, still in my opinion, I think he's one of the more underrated wide receivers in the league. I remember a couple years ago he was lighting it up. Well, obviously the Bengals weren't a good team, so I mean he was very underlooked because of the team he played for. Same thing with this year, Bengals aren't a good team even with Joe Burrow in the first half of the season. They just were not a good team, and it's going to take a long time for the Bengals to rebuild. But now AJ Green is finally going to have his chance to go to a real playoff contender in the Arizona Cardinals. Let me explain something to you about the Arizona Cardinals, okay? You got Kyle Murray as your quarterback. You got D Hop, Kenyon Drake. Help me out here, Mari. I know there's a couple more I'm missing.
Larry Fitzgerald, Andy Isabella.
Yep. That's a scary offense right there, y'all. That's a scary offense. Let me tell you something. When the Cardinals missed out in the playoffs last year, I called them the most disappointing team to miss out in the playoffs. And you may be wondering, you dog on the Cowboys all the damn time. Why don't you call them disappointing? Well, first of all, 2 things. One, everybody dogs on the Cowboys. That's an NFL tradition. We all make jokes about the Dallas Cowboys because that's just what we do. All right, don't judge me. I like joking about the team. As much as I want that team to be good, you just can't help but make fun of America's team. America's team might. Anyway, and number 2, the Cowboys were riddled by injuries. So, I mean, the injury part isn't their fault. Things happen. So, I can't necessarily blame them for that. As for the Cardinals, they weren't hit with injuries like the Cowboys were. And they had relatively good coaching. The Cowboys coaching was questionable at times a lot of the time. And that also contributed to the Cowboys' failure. But most of the failure contributed to injuries. They were one of the hardest hit teams with injuries this year. With I think the 49ers got hit pretty hard too, and I think the Patriots got hit pretty hard. They got hit with that, and a lot of players opted out on that team as well. So they were definitely up there. But the Cardinals weren't hit with that many injuries, so they could have still made a case for a playoff run. But the Bears just had to get in. Ugh. But yeah, no, I mean AJ Green's finally getting a shot at a real team, and I'm happy for him. So with that being said, congratulations to AJ Green. I wish him the best of luck in Arizona. Now, we gotta get to the next one. Hang on a second. We gotta get to the next one. Emmanuel Sanders is off to Buffalo. I think that's also a 1-year deal. This will open up. Yeah, it's a 1-year deal. It doesn't say exactly how much it is, but we do know it's a 1-year deal. And this was written by Joanny Scott and reported by Tom Forcello. I like this. I don't think. I mean, he's another one that's a little bit underrated. Obviously, he had a bit of an off year as well, but then again, a lot of players in every sport did, given given the bit of a wacky year it was. But he had 61 receptions for 726 yards and 5 TDs, which honestly isn't bad, but it definitely wasn't. It definitely wasn't compared to what he was doing the year before that. With San Francisco. So, but I mean, it's still a good pickup by the Buffalo Bills, and they're just adding on to that offense that's already really good. They got Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen leading the way. Cole Beasley's on that team too. Help me out here, Mari. I know I'm missing a few more on this one.
John Brown,
John
Gabriel
Brown,
Davis,
right? That's,
Dawson Knox.
so while he isn't the best addition, it's still a relatively decent addition, and I'm very excited to see how he does in Buffalo. So the Buffalo Bills are making improvements because they know that New England's not only making a come up, Miami's making a relatively decent come up. But they got to keep that title. And I got to be honest with you, Mario. The questionable moves that the Chiefs have been making this offseason, I really do think if the Buffalo Bills continue to improve, they're going to be the team to beat in the AFC. I will continue to say that until I get proven wrong. And I know they lost the AFC Championship game last year because of poor coaching decisions, but as of next year's a new year. They could go the distance. They could even win it. So I'm really excited to see the Buffalo Bills play out this year. Um, and with that being said, congratulations to Emmanuel Sanders and the Buffalo Bills. And I wish both of them the best of luck. Now we gotta get to the biggest one of them all. Trent Williams is staying with the 49ers. Ready for this, Mario? Ready for this? It is a $138.06 million deal for 6 years, which makes him the highest paid offensive lineman in NFL history. How about that? That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And hey, man, he deserves it. He's actually a really good offensive lineman. Um, the deal has $55.1 million guaranteed. And also has a $30.1 million signing bonus. And this was reported by actually this doesn't even have a source. It's just written by ESPN. So I mean, yeah, man. I mean, what else can you say? The 49ers, like I said before, they had an off year. And I mean, obviously, it's not their fault. They were absolutely riddled by injuries, and that's just not their fault. But you really think about it, if this team really wasn't riddled by injuries and just bad luck and misfortune, this team would have went all the way again. You gotta remember, this team went to the Super Bowl last season. Or not? Oh, yeah, last season. I got that right, did
Couple
I?
seasons ago.
Yeah,
Last
yeah.
season was, yeah.
Yeah. So you gotta remember, this team didn't make the Super Bowl too long ago, and they had a relatively same team. And I think Trent Williams was on that team. Was he? I think he was. Was he on that team when they went to the Super Bowl or not?
He was traded to the. He was traded
Oh, he
in
was
a.
traded there last year. Okay.
Yeah, so he
So
didn't
just
make it.
after they lost the Super Bowl. All right. So yeah, man. I mean, they're built. They want to go back to the Super Bowl, and I think signing Trent Williams and keeping him here for 6 more years is not a bad idea. It really isn't. He's one of the best offensive linemen in the game, and I really think they need that moving forward. So, um, with that being said, I wish the 49ers the best of luck in rebuilding their team, and I wish Trent Williams the best of luck. And I'll give it to you now, Mario.
Yeah, well, I'll start with AJ Green. First of all, congratulations to AJ Green on reaching a deal with the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah, I mean, their offense is absolutely packed. AJ Green, the reason why he had like an off year this year was because of injury. He really did suffer
Yeah, it's
injury.
understandable.
And that's been the story of AJ Green for the past few years, just been injury prone. And it's very unfortunate because when he does play, he is a very good receiver. I wouldn't call him underrated because when he's playing at a high level, people like see it and they know how good he is. But the reason why, but like AJ Green, he hasn't been the same guy in my opinion. I hate to say it, but I think it's a slow decline. But bringing him on the Cardinals, I definitely believe he can be a good piece to this team, and I definitely think he can do a lot of good things for them. Like Larry Fitzgerald, obviously Larry Fitzgerald. I'm gonna be honest with you, nobody in the NFL I have more respect for than Larry Fitzgerald. Like even Larry Fitzgerald is on a little bit of a decline too, but again, he's still able to be a big piece of that to that Arizona Cardinals offense. Obviously, they got DeAndre Hopkins, who's probably their number one star. Obviously. Andy Isabella is a good fourth wide receiver. He does a very, very good job. Um, Kenyon Drake is a very good running back as well. So the Arizona Cardinals are really improving. You know what? I expect them to make the playoffs now. I expect them to win that division. It's as simple as
Completely agree.
that. Out of all the additions that you've had from last year to this year, I expect them to win this division. Since you got that first pick in Kyler Murray, and since all these other guys came along, I expect this team to be winning the NFC West
Ain't no
easily.
reason why you don't.
All right, absolutely. Now, Rams, are they going to be a competitor? Absolutely. Seahawks going to be a competitor? Yes. Um, Trying to think. Seahawks, Rams, Niners. Help me out here, Nate Carter. Niners. The
Yes,
Niners, like
sir.
obviously, they're going to be having a healthy team back, so that's going to be a very, very good division to watch. I think it's going to be the best division in the NFL. But without a doubt, I expect the Cardinals to come out as the number one team. To be honest, that's my prediction. So with that being said, good luck to AJ Green and good luck to the Arizona Cardinals. As for Trent Williams, yeah, I mean 6 years, 138 million with 55 million in guaranteed. That's big money for a big man right there. He's a very good offensive lineman, very good offensive lineman. It was a shame that he was treated so poorly in Washington, but obviously I think he's getting treated a little bit better in San Fran. My problem with him is this: are these injuries gonna injury wise because he's suffered a couple too? Are they gonna catch up with you? Okay, because you can sign. Talent wise, he's definitely worth that money. But if he can't stay healthy, it's going to be a problem, Nate. It's going to be a problem. If he can't stay healthy, I could definitely see him being traded to a different team in probably the next 2 or 3 years. But if he does stay healthy, then the Niners just lock down one of their biggest weapons, because when he is healthy, he is an absolute beast on that field. I think he is one of the best offensive linemen in the game. Do I want to call him the best? To be honest with you, it's tough. I think Ronnie Stanley on the Baltimore Ravens, I think, might be better when he's healthy. He's definitely top 3. I'm trying to think of who else would be above him. Ronnie Stanley, I think, would be above him. I'm not going to say Taylor Lewan, because Taylor Lewan kind of gets a few flags. Trying to think here, Nate. The Steelers got a very good offensive line too. De Castro, I think he might be above him. Or not De Castro, excuse me, Villanueva. I think Villanueva might be above him. So I mean, but Trent Williams is definitely up there. Top 3, top 5 for sure. And I'm happy that he's getting paid this money, because he absolutely deserves it. I think after this pay, I think you're gonna start seeing a lot of offensive linemen get a lot bigger contracts too. Like we've seen it with Ronnie Stanley, when I think he hit like 5 years, $100 million or something.
Yeah.
Something crazy like that. So
something like that.
It started with him, and now Trent Williams has it. And now I think you're going to start seeing a lot of offensive linemen happy, because the offensive linemen, I'm going to be honest with you, I think are probably the most important position on that offense. Because let me tell you something, if you don't have a good offensive line, you're not giving your wide receivers enough time to get open. If you don't have a good offensive line, you're not giving your running back enough opens and space to actually run. If you don't have a good offensive line, you're not giving your quarterback enough time to make the throw. So with that being said, offensive linemen, I feel like are the most important part in that offense. And I do wish Trent Williams the best of luck. I definitely think he's top 3, top 5 at least, So with that being said, I wish Trent Williams the best of luck, and I wish the San Francisco 49ers the best of luck. And last but not least, Emmanuel Sanders signed a 1-year contract, Nate. I like this signing. I really do, by the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah,
now you got Cole Beasley, Stephon Diggs, and Emmanuel Sanders. I think that's a pretty good wide receiver core right there. I really do. I think it's a very deadly wide receiver core. And like you said, the Chiefs should be taking notes, but the whole AFC should be taking notes, because the Bills have done a very good job this offseason. And honestly, it's a very, very great situation. It's a very, very great place to be in Buffalo right now. They got a very, very good team. They were 1 game shy of reaching the Super Bowl. And I definitely think the Buffalo Bills can absolutely make a Super Bowl. I absolutely do. It's going to be hard for them to get past the Chiefs. Yeah, and the Chiefs signed Joe Thuney. We apologize for not reporting that on the video. We completely forgot about the Joe Thuney signing, but the Chiefs signed Joe Thuney. I think Joe Thuney is now the highest pick. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's not him. That's Corey Linsley, another guy we forgot to mention. But there were so many free agents, signings and acquisitions that happened, that we couldn't track them all. So we tracked what we could. But Joe Thuney obviously got a nice little contract by the Kansas City Chiefs. But I think after losing those 2 offensive linemen, I think the Kansas City Chiefs really kind of really got a little bit more work to do in the offseason and in this draft. I think the draft is very crucial for them. But going back to the Bills, Emmanuel Sanders is absolutely a great piece of this team. Now Josh Allen just has another weapon to throw to. We mentioned everybody on that. We mentioned all the weapons. We mentioned Stephon Diggs. We mentioned Cole Beasley. We mentioned John Brown. We mentioned Emmanuel Sanders now, Dawson Knox. They got a very, very good team there. And this team, I think, can do a lot of great things. So with that being said, congratulations to Emmanuel Sanders on the 1-year deal. And I wish him the best of luck in Buffalo. Now, going to the last 3. These 3 are I'm going to be honest with you, aren't probably as big as the others, but I'm still going to name them anyway. So former Bengals cornerback William Jackson has now signed with Washington. Personally, Nate, I really like this. I really like this signing, and I'm going to tell you why, okay? The Washington football team has a very, very good defense, okay? Obviously, we talk about Chase Young, De'Aaron Payne, Jonathan Allen, Montez Sweat, John Bostic. Then you go, but that's the defense right there. Then you go to the corners. Kendall Fuller, who's a very, very underrated corner in my opinion. Kendall Fuller. Cameron Curl, who was a very, very good rookie corner at that. I remember he's a rookie corner, which means he's young too. I like that as well. Ronald Darby, very good corner as well. And then you add William Jackson. You got 4 very good corners on that team that can easily turn this Washington defense into the number 1 defense in the NFL. We talked about the Cowboys. We talked about the Eagles and everything. Washington football team, the NFC East or the NFC least, is anybody's up for grabs. And I'm going to make this prediction right now, Nate. One of those teams in the NFC East is going to have a winning record this year. It's not going to be the NFC East no more. I believe one of those teams in the NFC East is going to have a winning record. I think it's going to be either Washington or Dallas, but one of those teams is going to have a winning record. I know you're laughing, but hey, look, that's my prediction right there. I don't
It's
think
just so weird to hear because you're not used to seeing that. We're always used to
no,
the NFC Least being trashed, and I love it.
no, but like you look at like the Washington football team, and that's a team that's definitely progressing.
Yeah,
And
I
you
absolutely agree.
obviously are they in need of a quarterback? Yes, and I think obviously like they signed Ryan Fitzpatrick, but you and I both know I don't think Ryan Fitzpatrick's going to be the one to carry the helm. I think if that's going to either be Taylor Heineke or that's going to be a rookie, to be honest with you. But that defense is getting very, very good, and it's getting very, very scary very quick. So, like with that being said, I wish William Jackson the best of luck. I think he really adds to it. I think he really adds to the strength of that defense, and I do wish him the best of luck as the Washington football team. Jacoby Brissett, he signed a 1-year deal with the Miami Dolphins. This one's pretty interesting, Nate. Looks like Tua's got a little bit of competition. Now, do I think Jacoby Brissett's going to end up becoming a starter of the Miami Dolphins? No, I think Tua is going to be a starter for a very good long time. I think Tua is going to be a very quality starter as well. As much as people want to trash on the guy, oh, his season was kind of overrated. He wasn't that great. He didn't throw like 4,000 yards like Justin Herbert and 30 TDs. Can you guys like please stop real quick? This man came in the 9th game, okay? The 9th game. In my opinion, he's only had one bad game, which was against what was the team he played? He had 3 picks. I can't remember. It was the last game of the Bills. He had 3 picks against the Bills. That was his only bad game. Okay. If people want to go, Tua is not a bad quarterback. I'm gonna keep saying it until people get it right. He's not a bad quarterback. Okay. As much as you, okay, this is what I can't stand about NFL fans. Okay, Nate. Beginning of the season, Ryan Fitzpatrick gets the starting job, right? Well, they should have started Tua Tagovailoa. Blah blah. Why drafted the 5th pick if he didn't start? Ryan Fitzpatrick plays 9 games. He does pretty good, right? Why you put in Tua Tagovailoa and Ryan Fitzpatrick was doing good? Make up your mind. Like, make up your mind. Do you want him or not? Because at the beginning of the year, you people wanted him to start. Now he starts, and you guys don't like it. Come on, like let's be real. All NFL fans know. I know, you know, and everybody around the world knows that Ryan Fitzpatrick was not going to be the guy to take that team to the playoffs. Now, did he come in? I don't dislike Ryan Fitzpatrick. I like Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think he's a very humble man. I think he's a very humble guy. I like him as a QB. He's got a great arm. He absolutely is probably the greatest relieving quarterback in the game. When your quarterback's not doing good, like there was a game where Tua wasn't doing good. The Raiders game is the one that comes to my mind when they took Tua out and Ryan Fitzpatrick got face mask and threw that incredible pass. Ryan Fitzpatrick is very good, but he's not a guy to take you to the Super Bowl. I don't think he is. I don't think he's another Nick Foles to just come off the bench and take you to the Super Bowl. I could be wrong. He could do that with Washington. I don't know, but I don't see it happening. Okay, I think Tua is the future of that team, and I think he's going to do a very, very good job with that team. Okay, I think Tua might be the most accurate quarterback in this whole quarterback draft. Call me insane, but that's what I think it is, and it's really not that hard. It's really not even that big of a stretch. Like if I look up Tua's numbers right now, going back to last season, he had 11 TDs, 5 picks. You ask me now, I don't think that's bad. I really don't. But going back to Jacoby Brissett, I think Jacoby Brissett is now going to be used as a backup. You know, maybe they're not fully 100% sure that Tua is going to be the starter. Maybe they're only like 80 or 90% sure, which is why they get Jacoby Brissett on this 1-year deal so he can kind of come in at times and play some good football. Because Jacoby Brissett, I think, has played some decent football. You know, when he's been starting, I think he's been playing some decent football. Not the greatest thing, but pretty decent. Which is why I think they signed him precisely as a backup. But to be honest with you, Nate, I think Tua is going to be the starter for many years to come on this team. But with that being said, I wish Jacoby Brissett the best of luck in Miami. And last but not least, we got Jamal Williams. So ex-Packer, and I'm so happy to say that, ex-Packer, okay, is going to the Detroit Lions. And I am sad to say that because get out. Like, but in all seriousness, Jamal Williams signed I'm sorry, I can't remember if I said Adams or Williams or not when I first introduced him, but Jamal Williams, he signed a 2-year contract. I think it's worth $22 million, I believe it is. I think it's 2 years, 22 million. For some reason, it doesn't say in the article, but I think it's 2 years, 22 million. He signed it with the Detroit Lions. The author of this was Michael Rothstein, and it was reported by ESPN. Look, the Detroit Lions, I think they're moving on from Adrian Peterson, to be honest with you. Adrian Peterson said, well, they did move on from him, and I think they parted ways, but Adrian Peterson has said there's two, on the Pat McAfee show, there's two teams that are interested in him. I don't know what two teams those are, but there's two teams that are interested in him. Look, I was kind of shocked by this, Nate, to be honest with you. And the reason why was because when we were mentioning Aaron Jones' extension, we talked about how they had three really good running backs. Now they got two really good running backs. And it makes sense, though, why they would get rid of him, because when you look at what Aaron Jones did last year, and then you look at the rookie and Brandon Dillon that they drafted, I think they're starting to turn that into a 1-2 punch. And it doesn't make sense to have that third running back, you know what I'm saying, who's a pretty decent running back at that too. It doesn't make any sense if he's not going to get a lot of playing time. You understand what I'm saying? So I think him being on the Detroit Lions is really going to help his career, because I think that'll it'll give him like a little bit of a 1-2 punch. I think it would be him and DeAndre Swift. Him and DeAndre Swift are going to be that 1-2 punch, but I think Jamal Williams is going to get a lot more play, considering the fact that right now DeAndre Swift is not that premier running back like Aaron Jones is. Who knows, in the future, DeAndre Swift might be a premier running back, but as of now, I just can't see DeAndre Swift being like an elite running back in the game, you know? So Jamal Williams, I think, is going to get a lot more playing time on the Detroit Lions, more than he did on the Green Bay Packers. You get to play the Green Bay Packers twice a year. Hopefully you can beat them up 2 times a year. To be honest with you.
And
But
they beat
look,
on you.
don't do that. But on all seriousness, though, I wish Jamal Williams the best of luck. I mean, I like him as a running back. I really do. I think he's a decent running back. I wish him the best of luck in Detroit, and I'll bring it on to you, Nate.
Yeah, let me start off with Jamal Williams real quick. I want to correct you. It's a 2-year, $7.5 million contract. I just looked it
Oh,
up.
sorry, my bad. I can't remember what I was thinking of. I was way off. 2 years, 7.5. I'm sorry, my bad.
Nah, you're all good. Let me start off with who is the corner? Hang on, let me just go back into the list real quick. William Jackson. That's what I wanted to say. Yeah, man. I mean, this is a really good pickup by the Washington football team, and obviously there's always room for improvement. Now, his last season he had 11 passes defended and 45 tackles for a corner. That's actually really really good. That's some very underrated stats. Um, so I like the signing by the Washington football team. They're adding more assets to their defense, which is already one of the most elite defenses in the league, top 5 in my opinion. You can argue otherwise, but me personally, that's just what I think. I think that's a top 5 defense. Offense, not so much. Defense, it's definitely there. So I think that's a really good signing by the Washington football team, and I do wish them and William Jackson the best of luck. Now, we can go to Jacoby Brissett, because this one confused me a little bit, Mario. I mean, he's not. I'm not going to say Jacoby Brissett is bad. Is he top tier? No, but I would say he's above average. I mean, he's not a bad quarterback when he started back in 2019. I think he started like 15 games. He had 2,942 yards, 18 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. So it's not bad, but obviously, it goes to show, because I think he was the backup to Andrew Luck a little bit before that. So, and then Andrew Luck retired all of a sudden, and then he had to take over, and then he ended up becoming the backup again when Philip Rivers came to town. So, um, so I mean, in Miami, it confuses me, because it's like you get rid of Fitzpatrick. There's a lot of questions thrown around Tua. Then there's rumors that Deshaun Watson might be going to Miami in favor of Tua going to the Texans. Like, there's just so much going on with Tua right now. Like, we don't even know what's going to happen. That's why this confuses me, because it's like, what's going to happen moving forward. And I want Tua to be the starter moving forward. Obviously, he's got a lot to prove. He didn't play that many games this year because he started off the season with an injury that he had before the draft or something. I think it was before the draft. But and that injury, I think, lowered his draft stock. So at the end of the day, even though the Dolphins ruined the tank, they still got what they wanted at the end, and that was Tua. And I absolutely agree. The fans of Miami are a bit annoying at times. It's just like, you wanted this guy all year. You start out the season, I think it was like 0-8, 0-9 or something like that. Something like that. Then they win like 5 games and they lose like the last few. You ruined your tank. Tua was a top tier quarterback. He was like number 1 overall. then he gets injured, then his stock, then his draft value decreases because then Joe Burrow went to the national championship and won, and he became number one overall. So you ultimately, even though you ruined your own tank, you got what you wanted in the end. Now that you got it, you're complaining about it. Be grateful. Like you could have been stuck with Josh Rosen for another 2 years. You wanted that? Oh no, it wasn't Josh Rosen. It was I can't remember who was it. Josh Rosen, Mario? Or was it Brock Osweiler? I can't remember who you were stuck with.
I think Rosen,
It was
but
Rosen.
I want to correct you. They started off 1-3.
Oh, okay. No, I'm talking about not this season. The season before that,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah, they were one of the worst teams.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know they started off 1-3 this year. I was talking about the season before that when they were tanking for Tua. That was just so obvious. It's not even funny, but yeah. But now you got him, and and Jacoby Brissett is definitely going to be a backup. I can definitely see that happening. Um, how much is obviously I can see them putting him in a game and seeing how he does. Kind of the situation with Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston in New Orleans. They're like competing who's going to be QB1. Personally, in my opinion, I think Jameis Winston should be QB1, but that's another argument for another time. But this is a little bit different. But with that being said, I wish Jacoby Brissett the best of luck in Miami. And I'm excited to see how he plays. Now, let me go to Jamal Williams. I think this is a very great signing by the Detroit Lions, and I really think they're finally starting to realize that their chemistry and that their methods of rebuilding have not been working. They had Matthew Stafford for like 12 years before he goes off to LA, and you only made two playoff appearances and didn't even win a single game. You had a Hall of Fame wide receiver in Calvin Johnson, who's one of the best to ever do it. Still didn't make the play. They've had so many of these players, and they just couldn't. They couldn't tie the knot. They just couldn't. And Detroit Lions have been in a rebuilding process for so many years now. Basically, all the Detroit teams have been. The Pistons have been in a rebuild mode for a long time. The Red Wings have been. The Tigers have been right across the street. So, Detroit is just, really full of tears. But then again, you look at the city, and that's just all it is. But anyway, no, all jokes aside, I really is this gonna make them a playoff contender? Personally, I think they need to make a few more moves in order to get to that status. Just like how the Jaguars are, like they're making moves to get to that point. I think that's what's going on with Detroit right now. Um, and I do wish them the best of luck. Detroit hasn't had much success in the last decade, so I do hope that the Detroit Lions fans' hearts get healed with a playoff run. I don't know. If they do go to the playoffs, I'm not so sure how deep they would go. That's something that we would have to see for ourselves. But um, with that being said, I do wish Jamal Williams the best of luck. I do wish the Detroit Lions the best of luck. I wish everybody on this list the best of luck. And that is NFL free agency day 3. We will be back for day 4.